Welcome back to another 78 Courier video here on ShopDog-Garage. ShopDog's out here. We got a couple parts and we're going to pick the truck back up and get back to work. So we finally have some bolts for the torque converter, which means we can get that bolted up and get the starter in, get that spark plug back in. And honestly, that's probably plenty, but we'll see if we can start attacking the rest of the trans. But that's really our goal for right now. So let's get started. ShopDog's been watching me work. So we've got her bumped around. These bolts are all tightened to 50 foot-pounds, which seems pretty reasonable for a 7/16 20 bolt. So we got those. Time to play the starter game. And for those who don't remember, the starter has to go in pieces and be assembled because that's the only way I can get it in there. So this is always fun. Okay, we're about halfway into putting this together. This is the part where I get to seat the gearing and the bearings together. So I pass this in first and then the starter body, kind of get them started. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Just got to keep playing. Can't force it. It's got to mesh on its own. And we're getting there. That bolt on top is such a nightmare to get at. Can't really reach it from above or below, so just keep working on it. Little here, little here, little here. I'm almost ready to tighten this bottom one and get this all back in plane here. But if I can wiggle that top one a little bit more, it makes my life easier later. ShopDog doesn't care though. Well, I've still got to tighten that bolt on the top, but we got wiring on, we got the blanket on. That was fun. And the bottom bolt is tightened. The top one, I've got it as close as I can get it with my finger, just kind of rotating it. Now I've got to get it from above. It's not real easy, but it's doable. So let's go ahead and grab that. Okay, so these showed up. So we're going to go ahead and build up these sensors real quick and then see whether they're going on the transmission side or if they're going on the cooler side. Okay, we got both of these built up. Now I'll just clean off the excess goop here and we'll go see. Okay, and you can see we don't block very much flow. And considering this is a 3/8 line and transmission cooler lines are usually 5/16, I don't think we're restricting anything. Now, while I could get away with one on the return, I can't on the feed. I just had it on there and it puts us too close to the tunnel. And there's really no point in fighting that fight and changing ends when I can just come down here. So they're going to wind up here. I know you guys can't see it, but I'll show you in just a minute. Well, pretty happy with that. This is the hot line. This is the hopefully cooler line. Here you can see how those adapters go in. So now I want to verify that I get a decent ground. Otherwise I can add a ground. But I just run a wire here and a wire here. Run those up to a switch. And that switch will go to the back of this gauge. And that's going to tell us the temperature. So we flip the switch to the hot one. See what's coming out of the torque converter. Go to the cold one. See what's coming back from the cooler. That'll tell us two things. One, how hot we're running. And two, is the cooler doing anything? This is a weird location. Here, let me show you from out here. So, follow the bed here. The cooler's right here. So, hopefully I don't have to move that or add a fan. I really don't want to do either of those things because if we add a fan, obviously, we're going to have a temperature controller and do all kinds of stuff. But let's, three things at a time here. Okay, ShopDog gets his pretzel. Been drinking a little tea tonight, so I'll have a sip of tea and do some wipe down and clean up, but we might be coming to an end here. Holy monkeys. I'm surprised how long that actually took. This didn't take that long. That wasn't that hard to put those lines back in. That starter, that wasn't fun. But it wasn't fun last time either. It's the only way you can do it. I mean, I guess in theory you could probably drop all this linkage out, and what a pain that would be. Holy monkeys. So, not worth doing. So, we'll come back in a few minutes, but we're going to do a little cleanup and start setting up some things to show me if there's any drips or leaks. The pan has a little fluid in the bottom, but it's not full. We haven't, added bulk fluid yet, and obviously it's going to take a bunch to fill those lines in the cooler again. But I'm going to wait until we have a drive shaft. I did drop that off to Harlan, so hopefully he can get that in to get balanced in the next week or two. That would be kind of nice. The weather is terrible, so it's not like this is driving anytime soon. So we'll keep working. And with that, I think we're going to close this short video out. It's actually been more time than I care to admit. Truck's coming along pretty nicely. There's more to do, but I don't think we've done a bad job here. I still think there's a leak in the cooling system. I mean, there isn't one currently, but give it a few days. I'm sure something's going to show up. So I got a feeling I've still got to go through and do a couple tighten cycles, which is really difficult with those AN wrenches because the wrenches are aluminum and they bend. But we'll do it. You can see one of the other things is I've taken measurements on this, but I haven't really gone too far because I've got to pull one of these eyes to measure it before we look at some kind of a traction bar. So before we get to that, let's make this a running car again, before I go popping the rear end out. And like I said, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to get that balanced. Need to have that working really well. Poor Mr. Shop Dog, old Ollie, he's tired. He's had enough pretzels for the night. So thought I was going to be working on this a little today, but just didn't have time. I did go do a little bit of work on the 67 for lunch, and that was good. I'd like to get more done, but there's only so many hours in the day. So anyway, we really appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Ollie says thanks for watching.